Every year, nearly 13,000 ships squeeze through a narrow gap between two Indonesian islands. Most of the world has never heard of it, but the nations that run the global economy, China, Japan, South Korea, Australia, absolutely depend on it. If it closed tomorrow, the bill would run into the hundreds of billions of dollars. This is the Lombok Strait, and it is the deepest choke point in all of Southeast Asia. Lombok sits between Bali to the west and the island of Lombok to the east in the Indonesian archipelago. The channel is roughly 60 kilometers long, 40 kilometers wide, and plunges to more than 250 meters at its deepest point. That depth is the whole story, because just to the northwest, the Strait of Malacca, the world's busiest shipping lane, maxes out at 25 meters. Any vessel drawing more than that simply cannot use Malacca. It has to come another way, and that other way for the heaviest ships on Earth is Lombok. The strait is part of what Indonesia designates ALKI, Archipelagic Sea Lane 2, a legally codified corridor under the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. Foreign vessels have a right of transit passage. Indonesia has sovereignty over the surrounding waters, but it cannot legally close the lane to international shipping. That legal status is why Lombok works. Without it, every supertanker, every VLCC, every fully loaded ore carrier heading between the Pacific and the Indian Ocean would need to detour thousands of miles around the continent of Australia. The strait is not a shortcut, it is a necessity. Now consider what actually moves through here. Mineral products account for 65% of Lombok's traffic, and the single largest commodity is Australian iron ore. Port Hedland, on Australia's northwest coast, shipped 569 million tons of iron ore in 2024, a record. 88% of that went to China alone. Worth nearly $80 billion US. The ships doing that work are Capesize and very large ore carriers, vessels so massive that Malacca is physically off limits. Every one of them transits Lombok. Every single one. Add Australian LNG to that picture. Australia exported 81 million tons of liquefied natural gas in 2024, making it the third largest LNG exporter on the planet after the United States and Qatar. Japan takes 27%. China takes 23%. South Korea takes 13%. A significant portion of those cargoes move north through the Indian Ocean, then loop up through Lombok into the Java Sea and onward, or take the reverse route south. LNG carriers, like supertankers, are draft sensitive. Malacca is not their friend. Lombok is. Total annual traffic through the strait runs to approximately 12,800 vessels. About 3,900 of those are oil tankers and chemical carriers. The corridor carries an estimated $40 billion worth of resources annually. That figure almost certainly understates reality. It does not fully capture the downstream value of the steel made from the ore, the electricity generated from the gas, the supply chains that depend on both. Here is the layer most people miss. Lombok is not just a commercial corridor. It is one of a tiny number of straits on Earth deep enough for nuclear submarines to transit submerged in a normal navigation posture without surfacing. That makes it a military artery of the first order. U.S. Navy submarines use it. Chinese People's Liberation Army Navy submarines use it to reach the Indian Ocean. Australian submarines under the AUKUS agreement will use it as their primary deep water corridor between Darwin and the Indian Ocean. Indonesia knows this, and so does China. In April 2026, an Indonesian fisherman hauling nets north of Gili Trawangan, just inside the strait, pulled up something that was not a fish. It was a torpedo-shaped device, 3.7 meters long, bearing Chinese characters and the logo of the China Shipbuilding Industry Corporation. Maritime analysts identified it as a deep, serial, time-transmission mooring system, a persistent underwater monitoring device designed to map the sea and track passing vessels. China's official response: no need for excessive suspicion. Indonesia's Navy quietly secured the device and said little publicly. The incident exposed what analysts had long suspected. China is building an undersea surveillance picture of Lombok, not because it threatens trade, because it needs to know what is moving through there and when. Indonesia is caught in the middle of a strategic competition it did not start. Under UNCLOS, it cannot close ALKI, it can regulate traffic. It established a formal traffic separation scheme in 2020, but it cannot refuse transit. The same legal framework that guarantees freedom of navigation for Australian ore ships also guarantees it for Chinese submarines. Jakarta has limited ability to monitor subsurface traffic and even less ability to interdict it. A 2026 South China Morning Post analysis described Indonesia's undersea detection capabilities as insufficient to the task. That gap is precisely what China's monitoring devices are designed to exploit. Now ask the question this channel always asks: what happens if it stops working? The most likely scenario is not a military blockade. It is disruption, a collision in the narrow shipping lanes, a grounding by an overloaded bulk carrier, a political crisis that prompts Indonesia to tighten passage rules. The nearest alternative for deep, draft vessels is the Sunda Strait, between Java and Sumatra. But Sunda is shallower, volcanically active, and navigationally treacherous. In 2018, after the Anak Krakatau eruption triggered a tsunami, Sunda closed for 36 hours. 28 vessels had to divert to Lombok. Estimated cost $85 to $120 million. For 36 hours. Now scale that, a prolonged Lombok closure forcing deep draft shipping to reroute around Australia entirely. Adds roughly 4,600 kilometers and a week of steaming to every voyage. Researchers at Indonesia's own institutions have estimated the additional shipping cost at somewhere between $84 billion and $250 billion per year. Here, China, which depends on Lombok for iron ore, LNG, and submarine access simultaneously, would face the largest single penalty. Estimates reach $220 billion annually in rerouting costs alone. The Japanese steel industry, which counts on steady ore deliveries to keep blast furnaces running, would face input disruptions within weeks. The world built an industrial system that requires certain points on the map to remain open. The Lombok Strait is one of them. 250 meters deep, 60 kilometers long, and standing between the world's third largest LNG exporter and its biggest customers. It has a traffic separation scheme, a legal framework, and a Chinese underwater drone parked on its floor. It works because everyone needs it to. And that is exactly the kind of guarantee that history has a way of testing.